Alright, so let's just get straight to it. You've got to declare ownership of your life. Like, really own it. I know that sounds simple, but most people are out here walking around like guests in their own story. They're waiting for somebody, their boss, their partner, their family, life itself, to give them permission to be who they want to be. And I'm here to tell you, that's never gonna happen. See, ownership isn't about control, it's about responsibility. It's saying, nope, I'm not gonna sit here and blame my past, or my circumstances, or what somebody else didn't do for me. It's when you stop outsourcing your happiness, your growth, your success to the outside world. Because the truth is, nobody's coming to save you. And that's not a bad thing. That's a powerful thing. When you declare ownership of your life, what you're really doing is drawing a line in the sand and saying, from this moment on, I'm the author of this story. Not the editor, not the audience, not the side character. I'm the one holding the pen. And listen, that doesn't mean life's gonna suddenly get easier. Oh no, it means now you're responsible for what happens next. But there's so much freedom in that. You get to choose how you respond, how you show up, how you pivot when things don't go your way. Think of it like this. If life is a house, ownership means you're not just renting a room hoping the landlord fixes stuff. You're the homeowner now. If something's broken, you're the one who's gonna fix it. If a wall needs painting, you get to pick the color. You're in charge of the upgrades, the renovations, all of it. And yeah, it's work, but it's your work. And that's the shift. The minute you stop pointing fingers and start asking yourself, what can I do about it? That's when the magic begins. That's when life starts to open up, not because it's easier, but because you've taken the wheel. So, if there's one thing you take away from this, it's this. Stop waiting. Stop wishing someone would hand you the life you want. Declare it yours. Own it with all its flaws and messiness, and then get to work making it what you know it can be. Alright, so let's talk about something that, honestly, a lot of people overlook, the power of intention. I'm telling you, this one thing will completely change the way you move through life if you let it. Here's the deal. Most people are just like, going through the motions. They wake up, do their routine, handle whatever life throws at them, go to bed, and repeat. And then they wonder why nothing's changing. Why they feel stuck. It's because they're living in reaction mode, not intention mode. Intention is different. Intention is like, you're deciding ahead of time what kind of energy you're gonna bring into the day. You're not just letting life happen to you. You're saying, this is how I'm gonna show up today. This is what I'm choosing to focus on. And that choice, that's where your power is. Because here's what most people don't realize. What you focus on expands. Like, if you wake up and all you're thinking about is how stressed you are, guess what's gonna multiply? That's stress. If you're constantly saying, ugh, nothing ever works out for me, well, life's just gonna keep proving you right. But when you set an intention, even a small one, you start shifting the way you see things. You're telling your mind, hey, this is what we're looking for today. It's like putting in a Google search for your brain. You type in opportunities to grow, and suddenly, you start noticing things you would have missed. And I'm not talking about wishful thinking. I'm not saying you can just sit on your couch and intend your way to success. That's not how it works. Intention is the seed. It's what sets your direction. The action is still on you, but intention gives your action a purpose. It makes your effort count. Think of it like driving a car. You can have a full tank of gas, but if you don't have a destination, you're just wasting fuel going in circles. But when you set an intention, even if it's as simple as, today, I'm gonna stay calm no matter what, you're giving yourself a direction to drive towards. And here's the beautiful part. Intentions don't have to be big and dramatic. It can be, I intend to be kind to myself today. Or, I intend to listen more than I speak. Those little choices, they add up. They build momentum. And over time, they completely change how you experience life. So the next time you catch yourself saying, I hope today goes well, pause for a second and flip that. Say, I intend to make today meaningful. It's a small shift in words, but it's a huge shift in power. Because when you live with intention, you stop waiting for life to hand you good days. You start creating them. Okay, so we need to have a real talk about this thing called motivation. 'Cause honestly, motivation is kinda overrated. I know, that sounds crazy, right? Like, we've been told for so long that you need to stay motivated to reach your goals, to chase your dreams, to get stuff done. But here's the thing nobody tells you. Motivation is fickle. It's like that friend who hypes you up when everything's fun and exciting. But the second things get hard, they're nowhere to be found. Motivation is loud when you're starting out, when the idea's fresh, when you're pumped up, when everything feels possible. But what about on a random Tuesday, when you're tired, you're frustrated, and nothing seems to be moving fast enough? What about when the excitement wears off? That's where commitment comes in. See, commitment is the quiet promise you make to yourself when no one's looking. It's not flashy. It's not about how you feel in the moment. It's about what you've decided ahead of time. Commitment says, I don't care if I'm not in the mood today, I'm still showing up. And let's be real, most days you're not gonna feel like it. You're not always gonna wake up ready to crush your goals with a smile on your face. Some days, it's gonna feel like dragging yourself through mud. But commitment doesn't care how you feel. It just keeps you moving. It's like going to the gym. Motivation is that first day when you're all excited, got your new workout gear, playlist ready, you're feeling yourself. But by week 3, when it's cold outside, and your bed feels way too cozy, that's when commitment is the only thing that's gonna get you out the door. And here's the cool part. The more you lean into commitment, the less you rely on motivation. You stop waiting to feel like it, because you've built it into who you are. You become the person who follows through, even on the hard days. Especially on the hard days. It's kinda like brushing your teeth. You don't wake up every morning thinking, wow, I'm so motivated to brush my teeth today. You just do it. It's a habit. It's part of your life. That's how you want your goals to be. Non-negotiable. Motivation gets you started, sure, but commitment is what keeps you going when motivation has left the building. And that's the difference between people who dream about success and people who actually live it. So next time you're sitting there waiting for motivation to kick in, remind yourself, it's not about feeling ready. It's about being committed. You made a promise to yourself. Now it's time to keep it. Okay, so let's get real for a minute. Obstacles are part of the deal. Like, I wish I could stand here and tell you there's a version of success where everything goes smooth, where you never trip up, where life just, clears the path for you. But that's not how it works. Not for anyone. And here's the thing, obstacles aren't just random bad luck. They're not there to ruin your plans. They're there to teach you something. Every setback, every no you hear, every time you fall flat on your face, that's life giving you a lesson. A real, hands-on, no shortcuts kind of lesson. But, and this is the key, it's up to you whether you see the lesson, or whether you just get bitter about the obstacle. 'Cause a lot of people, they get stuck in this loop of, why is this happening to me? They take it personal. They think life's out to get them. But the people who grow, the ones who level up, they ask a different question. They ask, what is this trying to teach me? And let me tell you, that question changes everything. I mean, think about it. Every challenge you've faced so far, every rough patch, every heartbreak, every failure, you survived it, right? You're here. And I bet, if you look back, you can see how those tough moments shaped you. They taught you resilience. They made you sharper. They humbled you in ways success never could. Obstacles are like the gym for your character. You don't grow by lifting light weights. You grow when it's heavy, when it's uncomfortable, when you want to quit but you don't. Same with life. The challenges stretch you. They show you what you're really made of. And yeah, in the moment it sucks. Nobody enjoys being knocked down. But sometimes, that knockdown is life's way of slowing you down so you can pay attention. Maybe you needed to learn patience. Maybe you needed to learn grit. Or maybe, just maybe, you were aiming too small, and life had to reroute you toward something bigger. The people who win, like, truly win in life, aren't the ones who avoid obstacles. They're the ones who learn to use them. They're the ones who take that failure and say, all right, what can I do differently next time? They don't take it as a sign to stop. They take it as feedback. It's all about mindset. You can either look at obstacles as roadblocks, or you can see them as stepping stones. One makes you stuck. The other makes you stronger. So next time life throws you a curveball, don't waste time feeling sorry for yourself. Pause, breathe, and ask, okay, what's the lesson here? What is life trying to teach me that I wouldn't have learned if everything had gone smoothly? Because that's where growth happens. That's where transformation begins. Obstacles aren't your enemy. They're your teacher. And the quicker you start learning, the faster you'll move forward. Alright, so, let's talk about something people don't usually connect in the same sentence. Discipline and self-love. I know, it sounds weird at first, right? Most people think of discipline as this strict, no-fun, rigid thing. Like it's all about rules and restrictions. And self-love. That sounds more like bubble baths, affirmations, and treating yourself. But here's the truth. Discipline is one of the highest forms of self-love. Seriously. See, self-love isn't just about making yourself feel good in the moment. It's about doing what's good for you, even when it's not the easiest, even when it's not what you feel like doing. And that's where discipline comes in. Because look, you can't build the life you want by only doing what's comfortable. Growth happens when you choose what you need over what you want in the moment. Discipline is saying, I love myself too much to let temporary comfort steal my long-term goals. It's like being a parent to your future self. Imagine your future self is depending on you, right now, to make choices that'll set them up for success. You wouldn't want to let them down, right? That's love. That's care. That's discipline. And no, discipline isn't glamorous. It's not about those hyped-up moments where you're super inspired and ready to take on the world. It's about what you do when nobody's watching. It's choosing to wake up early to work on your dreams, even when the bed feels like heaven. It's turning off Netflix because you promised yourself you'd read, or study, or work on that side hustle. It's holding yourself accountable, not out of punishment, but out of respect. Because here's the thing, when you consistently show up for yourself, when you follow through on your promises, you start to build trust with yourself. And that's real self-love. Not the fluffy, feel-good kind, but the deep, solid, I got my own back kind. And it's not about being perfect. You're human. You'll slip up. You'll have lazy days. But discipline means you don't let those days turn into weeks or months. You recognize when you're off track and you lovingly, not harshly, but lovingly, pull yourself back in. Think about it this way. When you set boundaries, when you make healthy choices, when you put in the work, that's you telling yourself, I deserve better. I deserve a life that feels good, not just for 5 minutes, but for the long run. So yeah, discipline is love. It's self-respect. It's you saying, I matter enough to show up for me every single day. Even on the days you don't feel motivated, even when no one else sees it. Discipline is the bridge between who you are now and who you're capable of becoming. And once you start seeing it that way, not as punishment, but as an act of care, everything changes. So the next time you think of discipline as something harsh or boring, flip that script. Think of it as the way you love yourself into your best life. Okay, so let's talk about something that honestly doesn't get enough attention. The energy you keep around you. The people, the vibes, the conversations. It all matters. Like, a lot. You ever notice how after hanging out with certain people, you feel drained? Like your energy's been sucked out of you? And then there are those people who, when you leave their space, you feel fired up, motivated, like you're ready to take on the world. That's not a coincidence. That's energy. And here's the truth. You become like the people you surround yourself with. Their habits, their mindset, their standards, even their moods, they start rubbing off on you. It's like osmosis. You can't be around negative, complaining, playing small energy all the time and expect to rise above it. That stuff seeps into you when you're not paying attention. So, if you're serious about leveling up, about living a life that feels fulfilling and exciting, you've got to start being super intentional about who gets access to you. And I know that sounds a little harsh, but listen, your energy is precious. You can't afford to just give it to anyone who's gonna waste it. Surround yourself with people who lift. People who see your potential, even on the days you don't. People who are not afraid to call you out when you're playing small, but who'll also cheer for you like crazy when you're winning. You need folks who have big dreams too, who are growing, who are challenging themselves, because their energy will naturally elevate yours. And let's be real. Sometimes that means you're gonna have to make some tough choices. Maybe there are people you love, friends, even family, who just aren't in that space. They're stuck in gossip, negativity, complaining about life but not doing anything to change it. And while you don't have to cut them off completely, you do need to protect your space. Limit how much of that energy you let into your circle. Because here's what happens. When you're constantly around people who settle, you start thinking it's normal to settle. When you're around people who always focus on what's wrong, you stop seeing what's possible. But when you're in a circle where people are dreaming big, taking risks, working on themselves, that energy is contagious too. You start to believe in yourself more. You raise your standards without even realizing it. It's like being in a gym where everyone's lifting heavy and pushing themselves. Even if you came in not feeling it, you're gonna start leveling up just by being in that environment. That's what you want for your life. A space where growth is normal, where positivity isn't fake, but it's real, it's earned, it's part of the culture. And you know what? Sometimes the energy that lifts isn't even people. It's what you consume. The books you read, the podcasts you listen to, the content you scroll through. If you're constantly feeding your mind junk, you can't expect to feel inspired. But if you're intentional about filling your space with things that uplift, educate, and challenge you, it starts to shift your entire mindset. So, here's the deal. Guard your energy like it's gold. 'Cause it is. Be around people who light you up, who remind you of what you're capable of, who make you want to be better. You owe it to yourself to create an environment that lifts, not one that drains. And the best part? When you start becoming that kind of energy yourself, you'll naturally attract it back. Energy finds its level. Be the kind of vibe you want to be around. Okay, so, can we talk about this super underrated superpower we all have? It's called visualization. And no, it's not some woo-woo, close your eyes and magic happens kind of thing. It's real. It's practical. And honestly, it might be the most important thing you can do for yourself if you're serious about building the life you want. Here's the thing. You can't create a life you can't see. If you don't have a clear picture in your mind of where you're going, you're just gonna drift. You're gonna wake up every day, doing the same routine, hoping things get better, but not really steering the ship. But when you start to visualize, and I mean really see it, feel it, live it in your mind, you activate something powerful inside you. You start to believe it's possible. You start to act differently, because your brain doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined future and reality. It just starts working to close the gap. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a minute and picture the future you deserve. Not the watered-down version. Not the version where you're playing small or settling because you're afraid to dream too big. I mean the full, bold, unapologetic version of your life. What does that future look like? Who are you in that life? What kind of energy do you carry when you walk into a room? What kind of work are you doing? How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? Who's around you? What does success look like on your terms? Get really specific. Like, down to the little details. Imagine how your future home feels when you walk through the door. Imagine the conversations you're having, the goals you're crushing, the peace of mind you have because you're living in alignment with who you're meant to be. And don't just see it once and forget about it. You've got to revisit that vision daily. Make it a habit. Every morning, every night. Close your eyes and live in that future for a few minutes. Feel it. Own it. Because the more you do, the more your actions will start lining up with that vision. You'll start making decisions that pull you towards that future without even realizing it. And listen, life's gonna test you. It's gonna throw distractions, doubts, and setbacks your way. But when you have that clear picture in your head, when you know exactly what you're working towards, it's a lot harder for those obstacles to knock you off track. You're anchored. Visualization is like programming your inner GPS. You set the destination, and even if you take a few wrong turns, you're gonna keep rerouting until you get there. But if you never set that destination in the first place, you're just out here, driving in circles, hoping you somehow end up where you want to be. You deserve a life that excites you. You deserve to wake up every day knowing you're living on purpose. But it starts with seeing it first. You've got to believe it in your mind before you can hold it in your hands. So yeah, close your eyes. Dream big. Picture it so clearly that you can almost touch it. Because that's not just a daydream, that's step one of making it real. Alright, so here's where we bring it all home. You've heard me talk about owning your life, setting your intentions, choosing commitment over motivation, flipping obstacles into lessons, treating discipline as an act of self-love, protecting your energy, and visualizing the future you deserve. But at the end of the day, all of it, comes down to a simple choice you gotta make within yourself. It's you deciding that I can, I will, I must. I can is about believing in your potential, not the version of you that the world tries to label, not the version of you that's been doubting or playing small. I'm talking about the real you, the one who's capable of more than you've even tapped into yet. You can do this. You've always been able to. You just have to claim it. I will is a decision. It's not wishy-washy. It's not, I'll try, or I'll see how it goes. It's a full-body, full-soul decision to show up, to do the work, to keep pushing forward no matter how you feel that day. I will is your personal contract with yourself that says, no excuses, I'm doing this. And I must, oh, that's the fire. That's where it gets serious. Because when something becomes a must, when it's no longer optional, you show up differently. You don't negotiate with yourself. You don't wait for the perfect time or perfect mood. You act because you must. Your future depends on it. Your purpose depends on it. You see, you're not here to live a maybe kind of life. You're not here to stay stuck in fear, in doubt, in the opinions of people who aren't even chasing their own dreams. You're here to rise. You're here to become the person you know deep down you're meant to be. And yeah, it's gonna take work. It's gonna take focus. It's gonna take showing up when you're tired, when it's hard, when you feel like giving up. But remember this. You are stronger than your excuses. You are bigger than your fears. Every day is a new chance to prove it to yourself. So when you wake up tomorrow and that voice of doubt tries to creep in, I want you to shut it down and say it out loud. I can, I will, I must. Because once you lock into that mindset, there's nothing, and I mean nothing, that can stop you.